Greetings, shalom, shalom. This is a man called Gavar. I've been wanting to, for some time now, spend a little time talking about one of the most important individuals in my walk with Yahweh. You're looking at a picture, still shot, I'll start the video in a moment, of the day that I was Mikvah into the body of Yahuwah, into the body of Messiah, Yahushua. To my left in the picture is Todd Philabaum, a.k.a. Ethos the Capo. This was the day I met him. Had no idea who he was, or no idea the profound impact he would have on my walk on this particular day. This particular day was the feast of Yom Teruah. At the time, this is in 2009. At the time, I was living with Miss Judy, had been there for a couple years, and I was just beginning to experiment with gardening. I had, I think, just recently sold my vehicle and got a bicycle and had begun working part-time at a local not nightclub, what's the word I'm looking for? Country club. Not nightclub, country club. And they had a full-service restaurant, 5-star restaurant, and a bar. And I eventually became a bartender there, but this was a really interesting period of time in my life, really transformative. I was leaving behind me an entire life of living within the beast system, always being an obedient slave. I did what I was told. I believed all the lies that I was told, and was not awake at all, completely oblivious to everything that was going on, the history of the country, the history of religion. At this point in time, I think I was actively involved with the 9/11 inside job group, passing out flyers and whatnot in downtown Greensboro. Those are the early days of my coming alive, if you will, waking up to the fraud that we all live amongst and call our life. Trying to make it not so grainy. It's kind of grainy looking to me. Probably not possible. But anyway, Yom Teruah 2009, Mikvah took place at the beginning of the festival. We rented a meeting place in Winston Salem, and this was a public pool that was not too far away that allowed us to go in there and do our baptism service. My good friend Shane, who is no longer with us, videotaped this proceeding for me. It remains one of my most choice, precious possessions, and with great discernment and great prayer and fasting, I am now finally sharing it. And the reason why is I want people to know all they can about this wonderful, wonderful man, young man that I knew, all too briefly. So here's the mikvah ceremony. I'll mute it. You don't need to hear it. There's nothing you can hear except the water. I was at the time attending the congregation of Yahweh, pastored by Don Esposito. They are headquartered out of Jerusalem and also have an office in New Jersey, Newark, I believe. And it was the first assembly that I was a part of, the congregation of Yahweh. And Todd, at the time, had been also attending their online services, and he attended the service, the festival of Yom Teruah, in Winston Salem where we were mikvahed. I didn't get the memo on how long to stay under the water, so I come up first. It's kind of awkward because I came up and realized everybody else was staying down and crucifying the old man, and I popped up, I think, much too quickly, but I wasn't told to stay below the water very long, so a little awkward. But anyway, this particular event began the friendship between Todd and I, and over the course of the next couple of years, 2 years, 2.5 years, until about 2011, at which time another couple who neither of us had yet met out in Oklahoma made it known to them that they were interested in starting a garden, potentially a Nazarene community. So in faith, I went out. Todd was going to follow. I went out there in, I think sometime around June. And I was back by about, probably beginning of August. And it didn't work out. They were not really believers in Yahuwah. They were posers, fakers, and that was confirmed not just by my experience, but also by another brother who had hosted them as well. Another friend of Todd's, and he relayed to me later on, many, many years later, that these two individuals were actually not what they purposed themselves to be. There's my friend Shane. She was such a sweet lady. She really was a very generous, sweet lady. Breast cancer. No longer with us. I've had a lot of heartache, man. I really think about it now. It's really heartbreaking to think about how many people I've lost over the years. Todd, Shane, Judy. Precious, precious memories of my early years in Yahuwah. Forever gone. But I wanted to share the video because I think people should know about this man. I'll be posting more, probably, of his music. I have, to my knowledge, aside from his mother and maybe a few other people, his entire collection of music that over the years has really blessed me to have had, to listen to. I still listen to it quite often to this day. Today, in fact, I was listening to it today as well. And I'll be sharing more. But I wanted to share the video of our Mikvah, Yom Teruah 2009. I had the honor of being buried in the baptismal waters and resurrected to new life in the name of Yahushua with my brother, Todd Philabaum, a.k.a. Ethos the Capo. So, anyway, signing out for now. A man called Gavar. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.